Sideshow, number 10.
Yeah.
Right? It's 10, right?
I think so. Yeah.
We're going to just say it's 10. So if there is a 10, go fuck yourself.
If this is 10, then this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this could be episode 9 No, we had 9. I know we had 9. This is 10.
I heard a 9.
This fucking hurt. Yeah. So what's going on, Chris?
Not much, man. I just kind of wanted to sit down and recap just kind of like our season.
Yeah.
What we've done so far. How many episodes are we in now?
So we're on 16 we just recorded for the actual podcast. Right. And we are on number 10 as of this second for the sideshows.
Yeah, content.
And we have a few best ofs out, and like just funny ones. And that's for you people at home. And we have some little like voiceover animal ones. Yeah, some stupid shit. We got a little taxation is robbery video.
Yeah, we're chugging right along, aren't we?
We got a lot of shit. We got around like 30-something videos now.
Yeah.
So, we got a catalog is what the French would call it.
Is that what they're
I believe
calling
that's
it?
French.
Catalog?
Yeah, it's catalog. Actually, the way the French say it is catalog. That's actually
I'm not going to attempt it. But
no, I know. I totally understand you're not as well versed in the French linguistic language as I.
Yeah. You're definitely not.
Oui.
I'm sorry, what?
Oui.
I like oui, yes.
Little Pepe Le Pew.
So let's kind of recap our season, man, where we started out. And
Damn.
Like the very first episode.
Back in the day, bro.
Dreamy, effect.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, so we started out a month before that, getting all the equipment together.
Yeah.
Doing some sound checks, doing a lot of movie reviews, and just kind of feeling out how the equipment worked, actually.
Some really raunchy, I remember some really raunchy stuff that's been deleted.
No, I have no idea what he's talking about right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that we watched. We didn't create.
No, that's hearsay.
We didn't create.
We don't watch that stuff.
Some stuff may have floated through the internet towards our way or something.
Yeah, we did some movie reviews, and we did some stuff as we were trying to figure it out.
Right.
And, it was fun.
Yeah,
cool.
Remember at the very beginning, dude, how nervous we were?
We didn't have no backdrop behind us.
Nothing. Remember, we were coming up with the concept of what we were going to do. Like, okay, so we have this command bunker. What are we going to do with it? Yeah. We're starting to set up.
Other than shoot out of it.
We're going to create a revolution here. Yeah. A movement.
Freedom revolution.
A philosophy, if you will. And,
we created the Freedom Boner.
Right.
The official Freedom Boner. Others have tried.
Yeah.
But that's fake news.
The official patent.
That's CNN shit.
The official intellectual.
And we got Freedom Lube. So they can go fuck themselves.
Freedom Lube,
without Freedom Lube.
Can't do it.
Kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, man. You might as well go with our product. We'll back it. We'll be behind you.
Yeah, sure. So we had our first episode. We went right away on the NSA and the spying.
Right. That came with today's episode. Remember,
that's 16.
Yeah,
that's going to be talked about.
It's really important, you guys check us out, man. Episode 16 was today. We had a really good show. All 4 of us were here. It's been a while since we all been together, and we just, It's
been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, I felt the brotherly
just
love.
Me and you.
Yeah,
since episode 4, I think it was the last time. It was just us.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And taxation is robbery. We did that.
Right. Yeah.
We did the Monsanto, and we seen some stuff that we talked about that no one, not no one knew, but our viewers didn't really know, and we were right.
And there was even the lawsuit.
Exactly, and that came back into play later on. Yeah,
the Rock.
The Rock.
So
finally,
so quick update on that. I heard that. So there's it was a jury decision, right?
Right.
The jury came up with a number. The judge in the case halted the verdict and split the verdict in half. Should the judge be allowed to do that?
No.
Because the people said this is the amount that they're going to pay. The judge should
So the jury already figured out what's up, and then he overrid them, basically.
So $400 million down to, I think they said $37 million.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah. He really got screwed on.
And the poor guy, we already saw the pictures and stuff.
Right.
The guy's gonna die soon. Let's not be. I'm not being morbid about it, but
no,
he did not look well. He has cancer.
Yeah, he has cancer. He's dying. His body's shutting down, and and it just goes to show you, not everything is well and just and
Yeah, even when you think you got justice, it's not always served exactly the way.
We're fighting a big entity, man. We're fighting business and we're fighting government. That's tough, man. It's an uphill battle.
Everything is corrupt.
It's an uphill battle that we all have to fight, and we all have to stop, and say, hey, these things aren't right, man. This is affecting our world, or these people need to, we need to deregulate is what we need to do. We need to get the government out of our businesses, man. And these are the kinds of things we talk about, just so just to throw it out back to you guys out there.
Yeah, if this is the first one you're watching.
Yeah, we talk about this stuff, and you could see our growth along the way because we learned a lot along the way. Also.
Yeah, absolutely.
From each other.
Oh, for sure.
Just
everything.
Talking about
from
stuff,
researching, from learning from each other. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah.
So it's just. It's critical thinking. It's free thought. Sometimes when any of us get our guard, I'll just say it out there. Like sometimes when any of us, and I've had this in the past a lot, where you get your guard up, it's like, wait a minute.
Right.
Now, am I right? Or
some of the battles
we
had off camera, right?
Oh, exactly.
Stuff that we couldn't air because it was,
It got heated a few times.
Yeah.
We've cut at least 2 times. We've cut
like completely, just like whoa, shut it down.
We're going to take that all out and start again.
Yeah, because it gets too heated. It does.
Well, somebody might have the wrong take on it, and I don't mean
the wrong information.
Right. Or they took a news source and they went with it and they just assumed that was right because they didn't. And we're not throwing anyone under the bus because this could be us too. We're not even saying that it's Kenny. We're not saying that it's Jamie. We're not saying it's Chris. We're not saying it's me. It was definitely my dog Rucker.
I know.
He's the research guy. The German Shepherd's crazy.
Yeah, that's where we get.
But yeah, I mean, it's
most of our information.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're just getting it from CNN, you're fucked. So always look at this is what I would say. Always look at the mainstream 3, the MSNBC, the CNN, and the Fox News, so you know what they're saying. But then
don't believe what they're saying.
No, yeah, I just said look at what they're saying. I didn't say that.
What they're saying.
But then go in and look at like alternative media, look at local media, especially if it's in a certain area.
Right.
Do all your research, and then not only do you know the story, but have your philosophy already locked down and your core beliefs locked down. And if you have those locked down, when you're hearing the fake news, it's going to be a shit radar shot up right away. You're like, oh, this is bullshit.
And what these media companies will do is they'll bury the most important fact like way down, like you say, like you're reading a newspaper,
right? And
they give you all this like backstory, and then they give you.
Is that back when ping pong was the #1 sport?
No, I'm talking about even internet.
Oh, it was cricket.
All that stuff. Like
croquet.
Croquet. Man, you fucking beat me to it, dude.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it. So. Fucking Johnny, dude.
I felt like the most craziest roller coaster at the time was the Ferris wheel.
Totally fucking threw my thought off,
riding
dude.
the horse. Yeah.
That didn't take much either, man.
This is
what
crazy.
were we talking about? Stop it.
News. Fake news.
Oh, yeah,
checking
that's
out the
right.
stories
Okay,
in newspapers.
So they'll bury the real facts.
Like the headline.
Down.
No?
No.
Oh,
okay, so
the facts at the bottom?
Yeah, the facts at the bottom.
Got you.
So you read all this backstory that they create, right?
Yeah.
I can't give you an example, man.
Yeah, but you're talking about it's like a bunch of filler, and not only is it filler, but it's leaning.
Leans one way.
It leans the way they want.
So that information leans one, but the actual facts
are buried at the bottom, if at all.
If at all, no, it will be buried. It will be there because they have to have facts to support.
This is debatable.
This is debatable.
But most of the time,
this is why it's fucking fake news, dude. But. If you start to see the same facts in different media outlets, that's probably an indication that fact is true.
Especially if you go with the alternative media as well,
right,
and independent,
if
and
if you do your
check
research,
the AP, check all the different things,
the sources,
check the libertarian pages like Reason Magazine. There's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah,
just check all of that shit. So you go with libertarian news, go with the right wing news like Fox News and whatnot. Shapiro, all the different ones that were like the common names, you know what I mean? Right. Crowders, all those.
Yeah.
Then go with your CNNs and MSNBCs. Go with all that stuff. Look at it all. Even RT, dude. You can go with Russia Today. You can go with all that. Look at all of it, compile it all together, and then you look at this big shit show, and everyone's saying slight variations of it. but you have your philosophy, your school of thought locked down, you're going to see through the bullshit immediately.
Right.
Because you're going to know that all taxation is theft. You're going to know that all government is corrupt and immoral.
Yeah.
You're going to understand all these things.
Well, that's the
and you're going to go
between-
that they're trying to fucking crank your arm behind your back and tell you, listen to this guy, and then you're going to get your arm cranked back on the right and left, and it's just ongoing.
This is a difference between
it's a boxing match.
Political ideology and a fucking philosophy. We believe in a philosophy.
Yeah. Libertarians are kind of like the referee in a boxing match.
Right.
You got the right and the left going against.
We like to watch.
Yeah.
We like to bet. We like to bet on the fight.
All the fun stuff we like
to have a good time while we do it. So maybe we drink or smoke a little bit.
Sure.
Too, you know?
Sure. Or maybe we don't do anything. We leave clean. Maybe we do. We do whatever the fuck we want. Maybe we're gay. Maybe we're straight. Maybe we're sober. Maybe we're it doesn't matter what it is.
We just want you.
Freedom.
Man. It is freedom. We want you to join our team, man.
Yeah. Come over to the winning team. Join the Freedom Fighters.
Join the Freedom Fighters.
Yeah. We will give you aerial support and artillery fire from the command bunker. That's all we can promise.
Yeah, we have a pretty good radio, so.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll see.
It's called the interwebs. Mainly because we have Pornhub now. That's our air support.
Dude, we are everywhere.
Sure.
Man, you guys need to start.
You need to share this shit.
Sharing, letting people know.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some pretty good episodes going.
We have fun and we chill, and this is what we do. But we try to have fun.
Yeah.
That's literally what we're trying to do.
And I'm dumb, so
there's that.
I need a lot of help, man. You know?
No.
The more you explain to me, dude, the better I. Dude, it's serious.
No, but that is everyone.
No,
that
but
is
we all learn. We all learn.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. Yeah, you stop learning, then you put up a wall. You put up a mental wall, right?
Yeah.
If you ever stop learning, right, you would know. I think you would know, right, that you have done something. Like
there are things in my life that I've done that to and had to.
You regretted it later, or you realized?
No, you just have to. You have to take those walls down. You can't fucking.
Right.
You can't build a wall.
Well, you can. If you're a Trumper, you can.
You can't hold back the way you feel about things.
If you're a Trump sucker, you can.
If you fuck that guy.
Right?
So if you
we'll talk about that in a second.
If you man, don't be a fucking mindless zombie, man.
Yeah, don't do it.
Just don't do it. Don't do it. Think for yourself.
So, speaking of Trump.
Yeah.
So, how many times?
Speaking of mindless zombie.
Exactly. So, how many times, Chris, look at the ladies and gentlemen at home real quick. How many times have you been asked, or any freedom fighters at home, been asked or, what's the way of saying it, projected that you were a Trump supporter?
Right.
Because you said something that the average zombie didn't agree with.
Right.
And then on the opposite, it's less likely the other way, but they would say, oh, what are you, a Sanders supporter? What are you, a liberal or whatever?
Right.
So how many of you guys at home have been called a liberal and a conservative in the same day?
So many times.
Oh, God, right? For you?
Yeah, a lot. Man.
Countless, dude.
Countless. So many times.
Yeah. You
so
voted for Trump. Oh, what do you like, Bernie Sanders? Oh, it's like, no, I don't like either of them. I like freedom.
I like the policies of people who believe that we shouldn't have laws that prohibit us from doing
what we want. As long as we're not harming.
Right. You know, that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't believe.
Like, for a good example, right? A victimless crime. If you own a
possession of marijuana.
Right. I mean, exactly. If you own a substance, if you own a weapon, if you own what is it that you can't collect water in certain places, you can't have unpasteurized milk in certain places. What else? There's tons of those kind of examples, right? So it's like, why? I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right. It's if you're not harming anyone,
if you're not hurting anyone or stealing from someone, I have no problem.
Don't destroy people's property. Yeah. I mean, it's things that you don't want happening to you. Don't project that onto somebody else.
Exactly. You don't want someone coming and stealing your money or your property, right?
Tools,
which is the same reason why we are against the whole government end of taxation.
Right.
Because that's what they're doing. To tie it back into the taxation is theft. Which is technically
it creates so many social problems, man.
Yep.
So many social problems. You know, trying to like there was such a rise in disease in our community. We created like safe needle exchanges, stuff like that, you know, and it winds up
which are all funded by taxation.
Yeah, it's all taxation, and it winds up destroying our community. We have needles everywhere, stuff like that.
And honestly, like, let's be honest and fair, people that came up with these ideas, generally speaking, they had the best intentions at heart.
Nothing wrong
No one's
with that,
ever
dude.
saying, when we say that a government program or a free handout is wrong, it is. It's immoral.
Right.
People are pointing guns at someone and stealing their fucking property and their money, right?
Right.
However, we're not saying that the intentions were wrong. Let's grow, just like what we were saying earlier.
Right.
We learn and we grow.
Yeah.
We are not the smartest men in the world.
No.
We will be the first to tell you that. We're dumb fucks. But we do know.
But we talk about it. We can
steal,
evaluate it. Yeah.
But we do know you don't steal from someone.
Well, I mean, that's just. I mean, it's if you're in. If you're a normal person, you don't think about stealing and robbing people.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you're either mentally ill or you're on drugs.
Or you had a really bad upbringing
and
bad examples in your life.
Yeah, and those things are the people that the government is trying to help when they're kind of creating a problem, if you know what I'm saying. They're kind of creating the problem by not being responsible. I don't want to, it's kind of hard to say those things, It's kind of hard to say, because,
if you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, right. I mean, and that's where the principle is supposed to take over in your life, so you don't do something wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like, our society has gotten so big that we started to kind of throw away morals and principles.
Yeah, you know what? It's a weird thing to think about when you talk about that, because then it comes into the population and it becomes into everything else, like that you start thinking about size. And but if you step out of it for a second, you start realizing that government controls the education system.
Right.
Government mostly controls, not 100%, but mostly controls the media.
Right.
At least the mainstream.
Well, they're working together for sure.
Sure, yeah, exactly. They're all feeding off of each other, and then that creates the situation that we have today, where everyone buys into that. And then you have I'm not going to say music videos because they're not even really around anymore.
Right.
But like as that was going, everyone was like, okay, I'm going to live this fancy life. You got the reality TV, I'm going to live this fancy life. Everyone's kind of pushing towards that, and they're living this like weird lie.
Right.
So everyone thinks they're entitled to this rich mansion and this whole fancy life. You're not entitled to shit.
No.
You pull yourself up by your own fucking bootstraps.
You got to work for your stuff, man. Yeah. I mean, it's your property. It's your labor. It's your property. Be proud of that. That's right. That's a creation, a product of yourself, and it's an extension of yourself in everything you do. Your work, your home, your lifestyle that you live.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to govern your life that makes life a little bit easier to deal with people.
Yeah. How you we're still on the recap too. I mean, how are you feeling about the whole non-aggression principle? Because I feel like you were on board with it, but you've kind of embraced it as we kind of this journey. I mean, you could see it in the if people were watching from episode 1 till now.
Yeah, I mean, there's always learning,
right.
And what's awesome about being around you guys is that I'm constantly learning.
Well, you have people that we're all very like-minded. We have differences, and that's good. We're human. We all have differences, but we bounce things off each other.
Right.
And so, yeah, you'll see some heated stuff on the show, but you'll also know that, like, even privately, we'll be like, hey, not even when we're off the set, or I mean when we're on the set but off the air, but like also like when we're hanging out together at other times, we'll be talking about it, and then we'll be like, we do cheap shots, and we do be smart asses because that's who we are.
I mean, that's ultimately
we're just
a bunch of guys. Yeah,
exactly. But ultimately, we're trying to learn and try to grow and figure this out and have a freedom revolution.
Right.
And how do you have that if you don't have the non-aggression principle? And how do you have that if you don't have free market capitalism? How do you have that if you don't have voluntarism?
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to name a few things that we all talk about every time.
Right.
So, and it's like you can't agree with our thing. Is like you can't agree.
You have to educate yourself. You have to expand your.
And that's a tricky fucking thing, by the way, because most people think education means the college.
Or means the
and it
system.
doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with that, but it means that you need to dial in your own personal thought process, your philosophy, the way you critically think about things,
Right.
reason, evidence. Like, these are major factors here.
Right.
This is what people need to dive into.
Right.
And they don't do it.
Yeah.
The problem with schools are, and I'm not saying it's 100%, but the problem with schools are it's regurgitation. You're just getting told what to think.
Yeah, or you're being taught to repeat. You're just being taught to repeat.
I got taught none of this shit that I talk about on here in school. I got taught none of this shit by anyone else. I had to do my own research for years to get to where I'm at.
Well,
and I'm not saying I'm above no one, but just to where my thinking is.
Like a lot of the high school history I took,
right?
Really kind of like opened my eyes.
History's good, man.
To politics, to why certain. If you look at history and the way things happened and the way empires grew and fell. And
what's crazy about that, because that's what we've mentioned this on the show. I don't even know where it was. I feel like it was on a sideshow, but history does not need to repeat itself. It does a lot, but that's because we keep using the same model all the fucking time. It's the same fucking thing: democracy, or a form of it, or an oligarchy, or some kind of dictatorship. But we don't need that. We can advance past that. Let's keep moving forward.
Right.
Let's try something new.
Yeah, moving towards
and it's going to take time. No one's saying like this
self-governance.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And never take what we're saying wrong, like as we just think that you snap the finger, tomorrow there's no government. It would be literally chaos.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Let's shrink government, and then once we shrink it, then we'll go from there.
Right. There's always a way to do things.
Sure.
And it starts
just like if you took over a business, right? You wouldn't just, if this business is awesome, it's making money, but it could do way better.
I wouldn't lay off half of the workforce before I had a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do that.
You go in there and you edit everything. You figure out what's going on. Audit everything. You figure out what's going on before you do anything. Right. And then you cut what you have to cut. And then you take the steps that you need to do to get that business going. And usually it's shrink it down a little and then build it back up. And then it's going to be expanding. And that's what we could do with this world.
Well, if we applied the audit system to our own thinking, then we could start breaking down, okay, this ideology or this understanding of something is wrong. Then I need to remove it and come and understand why I thought that way.
Right.
It's breaking the cycle of thinking and creating new...
Why would I want to break a bicycle, bro?
Sometimes you just have to destroy a lunar bike,
Sorry.
So,
had to get that little in there.
Yeah. You start breaking the way that way of thinking that closes you off from maybe accepting new information. How to be free without being governed by an entity.
Yeah, absolutely. So we all can agree on the podcast that episode 5 is the standard.
Episode 5 is not the standard.
So what was another...
It's been lovingly named the standard.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here we go. We got some information for them. Speaking of that. So we had Andy on episode 5, and he came in as a fill-in because we were going to... Kenny was out of town that day, and we needed a fill-in because it was just the way we went. Then later on, we did a few regular shows also with only 3 guys. Right. Then we decided that we will only do the actual podcast, the real big show, with all the guys. Right. So anytime one's missing, we're just doing sideshows. Right, so that's what you guys need.
Yeah, so intel. There won't be.
This was behind the scenes.
There won't be a fourth because
foursome.
Yeah.
So we only do foursomes when it's the big show.
Grim 86 Freedom First podcast is Kenny, is Jamie, is Johnny Doe.
I know, but it's funny. You're just like Kenny. Yeah,
Mr. Awesome.
That's debatable. He called himself Mr. Awesome, so that's debatable.
Yeah, that's debatable.
But yeah, so now
it's all of us.
We wanted them to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's good information. I don't think we've actually mentioned that before.
Yeah. So it's the 4 of us
for the big show. The actual podcast episode, whatever.
Yeah.
The side shows are this.
Yeah.
You're watching
a mix of
everything. A little bit of anything. Could be just all joking. Could be serious shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of free talk kind of stuff.
Yeah.
On most of them.
I mean,
and a lot of actually, it's funny because the sideshows actually we get a little bit more on the earlier ones, especially we get more serious, and then later on we actually have more comedy.
Right.
Where the main ones are just a mixture of it all.
Yeah.
So
I really like doing like the funny videos and stuff that we do. That's kind of one thing that we talked about from
sharks, bro.
From the very beginning, that we were gonna, we weren't gonna be so serious and be screaming at the camera,
Well, most people that provide this kind of content are trying to, no matter what side of the aisle or libertarian or independent, they're trying to be serious all the fucking time.
Yeah, we're not about that.
We're not trying to be that way.
I mean, we're just a bunch of guys.
We stick to our guns, but we're
yeah. I like to have fun.
Sure.
I mean, that's why I DJ.
Yeah, we're talking about, in the regular shows, we talk about skateboarding, fucking sharks.
Yeah.
All
kinds of crazy shit.
And aliens, ghosts, and
most
then, of course,
it to
government.
Fuck with people, but yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Different podcasts. We talk about a bunch of different shit. Music.
These guys will make fun of my Christian stuff with their fucking.
We're just giving you a hard time. We don't give a shit if you're a Christian.
No, and we want everybody to feel to be cool, and
we just don't like Scientology.
We're gonna make fun of everything because
Scientology is what we we're all
for some reason we haven't stepped on that fucking
because we do not have a strong enough legal team yet.
We're gonna step on that minefield soon.
Oh God.
Yeah,
we're gonna lawyer up first.
Yeah. No, everything's about learning, man.
Sure.
And we've learned a lot to this point.
What else? Any podcasts like topics or anything that stand out to you at all recently, or at all in the whole thing, the whole run?
When we were going through the battle of the amendments, when we were taking on the amendments and we were talking about that, I always like those are kind of like more serious shows, and it was kind of like a big learning experience. But that was fun, is being able to tell people or talk to people about what the amendments are and how to use them in their lives.
And that's the thing. So for me with the amendments, it's very important for us Americans here to know what they are, because those are your rights given to you by the government. I know they say it's inalienable, but it's not.
It's protect you from the government.
But they could say whatever they want, but that's really what it is.
Right.
But us here at Grim 86, Free and First Podcast, we believe that they are your human rights, whether you believe that as your natural born human gifts to be free men, free women, or it's given to you by God. We believe between all of us, I think we can all say that it's one or the other or both.
Right.
And that's where we come from. You do not need a fucking piece of fucking paper to tell you that you are a free person.
You really don't.
As long as you do not harm anyone, we have no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's self-evident, my friends. Yes. You don't put your hands on people.
Yeah, unless you're defending yourself or your loved ones.
Yeah, you don't destroy people's property. Right. You don't take people's property.
Unless it's your property.
You don't take anybody's life.
Right.
Unless it's in defense of your own.
Do no harm.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like, isn't that what the doctor's thing is too, actually?
Yeah, I mean,
Hippocratic oath. Hypocrite oath.
Hippocratic oath. Hippocratic oath. Yeah,
Right.
it really is. We're not going to do things that are going to harm our community.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm trying to think of any other episodes that we did that really stood out. I mean, I always like talking about guns.
Yeah.
I always like talking about free speech is like actually my number one.
We have some pretty good robot clips.
Oh, well, that's different. That's science.
That's a science portion.
Dude, bro.
Grim 86
I'm just saying, it's fucking
podcast.
real.
Yeah.
They're going to be eating us to survive.
Fuck.
We're going to be ready for the robot wars coming soon.
Yeah. Elon Musk is like...
What's up with that whole start a social media thing? I've seen some memes about that.
Serious.
What is that? What is that about? Do you know?
I don't know, but I think people really want...
Because he's kind of the outsider guy. Got targeted a little bit.
He's more of the libertarian kind of thinking.
All right. I'm just curious. Wasn't sure about what that meant. I was like, I pay attention, but I'm not really.
Yeah, it would be more like a...
He's a weird guy.
I imagine... I watched that Joe Rogan interview with him, and it was really good. I mean...
I saw part of it. I only saw clips. You know, he does little short versions of...
Yeah, no, I watched the whole thing.
I need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, it's really good, man. He talks a lot about different aspects of Tesla, the Boring company that he has,
Right.
And then SpaceX, and then he also talks about the future of robotics and the future of actual like computer intelligence,
AI stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah, dude, and he really goes into AI.
Was he more on our page, or was he?
No, he
just
was more
in general.
Like
an overview.
He was kind of. He was kind of talking about the transferring information and why.
Oh.
Okay, so
to another form, or like what we talk about.
I mean, how would we keep up as human beings?
Right.
Like how fast can you text or type? Like this.
Fast if I have robot fingers.
Yeah, if you have robot fingers, right? So we're gonna have to integrate at some point.
Yeah, cyborg.
But he's saying like the bandwidth between our brains and our fingers and computers bandwidth, we can't keep up.
Yeah,
we would have to have direct.
Well, it's even like when they say they teach the AI stuff. It's like it learns in like weeks what we learn in years. So
right. It's really still like at its infant stage.
Sure, which is scary.
Yeah, but it's an actual.
I feel like me and Chris are the most scared about the robots on the podcast.
Man. I really
Jamie is a.
He's all for it, man.
He's a fucking like robot leader overlords and shit.
Yeah, man.
Me and you were like,
he even wants that robot dog. Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
Oh yeah, fuck that.
No, man. No. We have to slow down our technology.
Sure. Well, it's debatable.
Yeah, we can't do that. Fuck.
You can't do it. It's a fucking weird catch-22.
It's evolution,
that we need
dude.
ethics, bro.
Yeah,
we need ethics, bro.
We do.
We need
civics. We lost our civics.
What we
man.
need is, like we said from the beginning on this podcast, we need moral freedom fighters, people that have a code, and we've brought that up now a few times on the show right now.
People with good
Reason,
hearts, good
evidence,
minds,
good, yeah, exactly. Dude.
People with
moral code.
critical thinking skills.
Right.
Like we need those people. We need smart people to rise up.
We need
man.
the moral code back.
We need people who are doing research and who care about our future. Not my future in the next 20, 30 years.
I'm dead.
Is debatable. But
we'll be dead.
No, but still, I'd like to see the human race carry on.
Robot
I mean, we're gonna have a robot overlords.
Sexy robot
nothing
bodies.
we can do about it. We're so fucked.
The next
dude.
president is a robot overlord.
Jesus, dude.
Baby warrior.
This is gonna be
Whatever it's
horrible, dude. Oh my god.
I try not to think about it too much because it's really fucking scary. Honestly.
They're gonna
For
fucking
me.
slaughter us.
I feel like threat number 3 is robots.
Is AI?
Yeah.
Is it? It's definitely AI.
Technically, it's probably number 1.
Yeah, dude.
Government might actually get bounced down to number 2.
So I mean, if we were to integrate, we would have to have some like direct we would have to implant some kind of computer chip to have Bluetooth capability. Basically, transfer our thoughts through the internet. I mean, our fingers can't type fast enough to relay the information that computers can relay.
Yeah, but honestly, we could probably just make tools for that. Just like you have another device, right? It can probably just translate it out of your brain as you're thinking it.
Yeah, but
I mean, if they can do the AI shit.
What about long term? We're gonna have to integrate, dude.
We need laser cannons.
You know what's gonna happen is they're gonna take over. We're not gonna know nothing. We're not gonna be able to break their fucking codes, dude. And we're fucked.
What if we're already in a matrix?
We are.
Not that kind of matrix. I mean, like a real matrix.
Man,
like
you're gonna start fucking going down the rabbit hole. Let's do it, dude. Come on, man.
Let's do it.
I need to smoke, dude. Let's go down the fucking rabbit hole, dude.
What if you already are in the matrix?
We're gonna do this shit.
I'm just gonna keep repeating that. I'm tripping, man. Yeah, I mean, we don't.
You guys are gonna see how fucking crazy I am.
What about the people that say that maybe the universe is inside of a body? Ooh, I'm triggering Chris right now, and I'm not the one smoking.
AI is going to take over.
I think so.
AI is going
to... No, wait. AI will take over in the long run.
AI
if we do not have strong, hardcore oversight. So, in other words, if there's AI in just the commercial world, we're good, I feel. If there's AI in the government world, I think we're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
No, because the government wants a defense system that's gonna.
What if they all sign on to the same AI, and then that AI hacks itself, and now all defense forces are robots?
Man, I feel like you're talking about the Terminator right now.
I'm not, actually. Not even close.
I could see that happening, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of their systems.
Here's another thing. So
a lot of their systems are independent.
So a lot of people. No, I know. So a lot of people are saying too that maybe a computer should be making our decisions for us.
What? No,
like just an AI computer.
It's not. It's not.
There's a lot of people saying that. Like, 'cause it's not going to have emotion. It's going to make its own.
It's not that precise yet.
Well, I'm not saying now. I'm just saying that's what they're
in the future.
Yeah, that's what they're trying for.
Well,
what are those zeitgeist fucks? They're all saying that shit.
We have no future with AI in.
We should have no future with AI at all, in my fucking opinion. I don't give a fuck with them.
You're right.
Fuck them.
You're absolutely fucking right.
We can use robots all day. I actually don't care if we have robots. There just should be no AI.
No, you're
we program them to do what we want them to do.
No AI. I agree with you.
I'm just on that. It's a slippery slope.
It is. It's very slippery. You know, if we allow AI to grow and turn into something, and it becomes like, aware, self-aware. Wants to protect
now who's talking
itself.
about the Terminator?
No, but I'm this is the future we're headed towards.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an evolution going on that we don't understand, and
we can't.
We can't.
Again, history can't repeat itself in this situation. It's
right.
never
happened before. Yeah.
Just like when cell phones were born. So that's why I said freedom can happen. When people are like, well, where in history is it?
Well,
it doesn't have to.
And we talk about data collection, we talk about data collection like we're worried about the NSA and the...
No, we are. But yeah.
I mean, we're worried about the government spying on us. But all this data is being collected and compiled, not for human beings.
Wasn't he on Star Trek?
Not on... compiled.
No, data.
What?
He's the robot guy.
Oh.
With the pale skin.
Data.
They'll know at home.
Holy shit, dude.
Wait, I got a side story. This is funny. So me and my friends back in the day, we did like a parody of Star Trek. And my friend said he was going to be Data. So we didn't know. Everyone dressed up, however. It was just like a home video thing. This is in the 90s, like late 90s. And my boy that was going to play Data, what up, Nate? He fucking walked into my fucking kitchen and got flour and threw it on his face.
Just piles of flour.
You remember how Data looks? Do you remember? He's like the white, real whitewashed looking, albino looking robot guy on Next Generation.
Yeah, no, I know Data.
Yeah, so he just threw flour on his face.
Oh God, dude.
Sorry, totally stupid story.
Made his eyes red and everything, huh?
Yeah, that was funny as fuck, dude. We got sidetracked.
Piles of fucking shit in your eye.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So me and since we're telling stories, dude, me and my buddy would fill our mouths up with water and like look at each other and try not to laugh.
That's awesome,
dude. Like and we could never do it, dude, because
one of my boys fucking back in the day,
fucking ridiculous, dude.
He used to always eat Oreo cookies and then smile at you. And you wouldn't even know what he was doing, and he just like, hey, kind of smiling with his mouth closed, and he'd smile. It was funny as fuck.
Oh, dude, that is funny, man.
You're like, what the fuck?
That took a turn.
It is a good one, dude. Yeah. Well, we gotta lighten it up occasionally on the show.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we do that a lot.
We do. Because everything gets so... I mean, it can get so serious.
We got pretty serious. We're talking about the robot invasion.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy if you think about it too much. Like me, like I
what do you think about secret societies? Let's go there. We've never got to go there.
Man.
What's your take?
I think that there are groups of elites, and they're all involved in like all kinds of gnarly shit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Man.
So you guys want to get scared at home? You start looking up Trilateral Commission.
Yeah.
Bilderberg
policies.
Group. Oh. Council on Foreign Relations.
Mm-hmm.
Start looking into those. I'm not sure the Illuminati exist. They did exist. There's
I
proof
think
of
at one point there was kind of like a thing, but I don't think the actual
Illuminati. I don't think it exists the way that it existed back in the day, but it did exist. Here's a good one for you.
I don't think it exists like Bilderberg did. Does.
Does, yeah. So it does. So if you guys go at home and you type in George Washington and then Illuminati, you're going to see document written by him in his museum that literally talks about the Illuminati. So go home and do that. And Chris doesn't know about it, so like go and check it out. It's really cool. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, there were actual threats.
Masons, all these different things like that's out there. I don't really know.
I think in early America is when a lot of that happened.
But now I know for a fact it's definitely Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, Bilderberg Group, all that. And it's like the way you would know is because you have the right and left elite in all countries, heads of business, all meeting together. And whenever any of the talking points get leaked out, it's like, what do we think about Iraq? What do we think about this? It's like, why are you doing this? This is not
It's like
where this should be taking place.
It's like a big think tank for world leaders.
Well, that's what they say is the cover story. But they're making policy.
Yeah, they're definitely
which is
making
illegal.
Policy. They're definitely
for our leaders.
They're changing they're in control of everything. They're going to make decisions.
How is it that the right and left hate each other when yet the Bush family and the Clinton family say they're brother and sister? If you're so opposed to each other, how would you say that? That makes no sense.
Right.
They're on the opposite side of supposedly your school of thought.
There's so much evidence
they're the enemy
that these guys
your brothers and
mingle.
sisters.
That they mingle, that they get together.
They all go to the same wine mixers and rub elbows.
Yeah, I mean they are not representative of the
you
people.
elitist fucks eat a dick.
They're not representative of you and me. I mean,
they don't care about you and me.
Unless you believe in secret societies making policy for your life. I mean, I don't think anybody should be on the side of these people. Politicians are representing, somebody's ideology. They're not representing the people. Yeah. Never have.
No, they never will.
No.
Not when they're elite.
No. The only person that represents me is me.
Absolutely. The individual self-governance to bring it all back in there.
Self-governance, man.
Governance. Not government.
I'm a little mush mouth right now, bro. Come on, I'm a little parched.
All right. Well, so on episode 4 of the Sideshow, we did a little. I didn't even know it was recording when you started, and you said, "Johnny, how do you feel about forgiveness?" And I go, "I don't know," because I haven't really thought of it honestly with myself. I knew,
and that's the most natural reaction that you could give.
And so check out Sideshow 4 because I was being 100% legit.
Right.
And I came to the conclusion is that you can forgive people. Take the emotions out of it and everything.
Right.
But you don't forget what they did to you, so in the sense that you do not let them do that to you again.
Yeah.
You can give... Now, I'm all about giving someone a second chance. Maybe even a third chance. But once you get past that, it's like, okay, now we got a pattern.
Right.
And they're going to keep doing it, so why are you, And depending on the severity of what they've done to you, maybe it's only one time. You know what I mean?
What I learned is you don't have to put yourself in a line of fire.
Yes.
You don't continue.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary to put yourself in a situation where you know it's uncomfortable and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Because the person's going to do it again.
Right.
You can forgive them and create distance.
I agree. And it's just don't put yourself in that position.
Right. Right.
If you know better, with that person.
Right. Well, I mean, you kind of have to understand yourself a little bit.
Sure. If it's a family member or a really close friend, you might give them more chance.
Right.
If it's somebody that's an acquaintance or coworker or something, no, dude, you don't need to deal with that.
Right. There's some people who just get walked on. They just,
you deal it case by case.
Right.
Honestly, that's probably a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
And that was when we were doing a lot of the Good Human 101 stuff. We were going to try to do a lot.
Right.
We just been slacking.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. We have busy.
Everyone has their jobs and stuff outside of this, so it's hard to get there. We try to do the best we can. We spend a lot of time editing and doing a lot of different things to get these shows to you guys. It's a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, there's a lot of hours that we put in doing research and talking to people and
it's been harder since we've been on Pornhub because I do a lot of research on there.
I mean,
and sometimes a rabbit hole.
It's like a drain.
Hashtag drain the lizard. Look it up.
Swirling away. There you go.
All right. Well, speaking of drain the lizard, let's talk about morals. Yeah. So, and that's another thing, Chris. I feel
willpower.
like you can,
I feel like it's willpower.
I feel like you can have fun and talk stupid and be an idiot and
You can.
be a little perverted here and there, but you can still be a good fucking person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's
just
important not to take yourself so serious,
right, and
really
not to judge everyone just by what they're saying there. You know what I mean? All the time.
You got to let people just be people.
Yeah.
You know, no matter if it bothers you, no matter if you think it's right or wrong, you just got to let people be people.
Yeah. And so, since we're being so honest right now, what do you think about honesty, Chris? I think it's very important.
Well, you know,
What do you think?
you can't be. It's hard to do business when you're not an honest person. You know.
Well, that goes into your brand. We've talked about that on the podcast too.
Right.
You are your own brand.
You know, the character you create to put out into the world is important.
Yeah. Well, whether you're representing a business or a podcast and you have your brand
Or yourself.
Exactly. That's where I was going with it. Yeah, absolutely. And honesty is the key. I mean, that if you deal with people, and I know you guys have dealt with people in your lives,
right,
where you know that guy's not honest. Do you trust that person? No. Once you know they're not honest, that goes with the forgiveness thing.
That's
It triggers your spidey sense, and you immediately know this guy fibs all the time.
Right.
Even if they're not big lies, or he exaggerates all the time, right? Which is, or she, whatever. You know what I mean? That you know that when you're talking to that person that, I might not be able to believe everything they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you're put on the defensive, it's really hard to let that go. And we talked about forgiveness, and you try to, you let those things go, but you don't continually go back to the source of that pain.
Right. Yeah, and this is what ties right back into that whole forgiveness. Yeah, right? They both work together.
Right.
But being honest is the best thing to sell your brand to other people.
Right.
And here's a good one. It keeps your conscience clean.
That's a big part of it, just for your well-being and your mental health.
Yeah.
I mean,
when you start lying, you're going to have to lie, and then you're going to have to cover a lie with a lie, and it's just, why?
It's a big spider web, man.
Don't cover yourself with a lie. Why? Because it's poison.
Yeah, you'll get trapped in it eventually. Eventually, people see through that.
You know what, Chris? That's amazing.
That is amazing.
That was born here on the Sideshow, by the way.
That just happened.
That was on episode 1.
You just saw that happen again. It's important to be honest because it keeps you humble. Also, it keeps you.
So humility. Let's go with that one. So there.
It keeps you humble, man. It keeps you.
I'm a little humbly right here. Is that what that means?
It keeps you wanting to help people and to, I haven't experienced the humility myself, but yeah, eventually one day.
So, took a second to sink in. I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke, but it was funny.
It was.
Yeah, okay. So, humility is interesting, right? Because you want to be humble, right? You do want to be a chill, cool person without a super ego. But at the same time, you want that get after it, I'm the shit mentality as well. That's a weird, what's the dichotomy?
That is called
it's a fucking
not self-righteous, but righteous pride. That is the right kind of pride. That's the pride that you should have in your life.
Yeah.
Have the kind of pride that makes you want to charge after your
fortitude,
your dreams and goals, and will do anything to get past the next obstacle. Right. That's the fortitude you have to have.
Yeah.
It's that self-drive.
But it's interesting because humility kind of goes in the face of that in a way.
Well, think about it like this. Okay, so you're you're a strong man.
Right.
And you could overpower somebody.
Yeah.
Right? And instead, you're not going to do that because it would change your conscience.
Right, yeah, just to be a bully or whatever.
Right,
yeah.
Right. You could harm somebody, but you don't because it's not the right thing to do. And you just want to keep your conscience clean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting though because that whole ego, you should have I believe personally, you should have the ego, but you shouldn't be an asshole, and you should have humility that keeps those things in check. You should have an ego to a degree where we were talking about earlier with your own brand.
Right.
Like,
well, that's
because you could just be, you don't have to be on a podcast. You don't have to be a movie star. You don't have to be any of that.
No.
You could be a checker at a grocery store, but you're trying to sell your brand because you're trying to advance through the ranks, or at least at minimum show people you have a good character.
Well,
and trustworthy and whatnot.
Like for ourselves, we have a philosophy that we follow, and we want to create a movement.
Absolutely.
And you know, in order for us to do that, we have to believe that there's people like us out there in the world who want to join the fight.
Yeah, well, there's people like us, and then there's people also that will learn along the way with us.
Right. It's important.
We're always growing. Yeah. We're always changing.
Always changing, always learning. You know, how to mix kind of like all these ideas together, not ideologies, ideas together to create something that's going to change things. That's going to, you know. I believe that we're putting out a message that's going to change things.
Oh, you know, that's what I believe too. So we got to try.
Yeah,
we're doing our thing.
Yeah,
we're trying.
Yeah,
and we're trying to sell our brand, and we're trying to be honest about it.
Right.
We're not trying to sell anyone snake oil or trying to do. No, this is stuff that we actually believe in.
Yeah,
or we're learning along the way.
Yeah,
so it's honest.
I don't believe anybody should tell me what to do, push me around, and tell me how to create things. You know.
So going back in the honesty, right?
Yeah,
that is probably going back into what, you know, we were talking about honesty earlier, but it's probably, and I think we did say it, but I think honesty might be the most important thing to start off with. Now there's ways to balance it, because obviously you don't want to be an asshole in your place of business and all that. But you gotta be an honest person. If people know that you're dealing with someone that's an honest person, they're gonna deal with you a lot more.
Now, if you're down to trust, man, it really does come down to trust. And
then that builds trust too, right?
Do you trust this person? Is this person trustworthy? Can I leave this person alone with my product and my money and know that they're gonna take care of things for me?
Yeah,
you know. Those are the kind of people that we should be surrounding ourselves with. Yeah, you know, the kind of people that believe in ethics and believe in community,
right,
and taking care of each other and watching each other,
right, and doing the best job you can do.
Yeah, and you know, being humble enough to do the work.
Well, yeah, and we talked about this with work too. Is that, like, if you don't like your job, still do your best job that you can for that job, and then look for something else.
Right. There's always,
but you're still bettering your brand when you're doing that.
Right. Always keep you know, always stick up for yourself, but at the same time, always be open to ideas. That's important.
Yeah,
That's
always.
Really
always.
Yeah. Understanding other people, like, you know, spreading kindness and being good people. You know, be good citizens to each other. Yeah.
So, with the whole humility and forgiveness and all that, and then you were talking about, you mentioned earlier about mercy, showing mercy to people, like not bullying people, or the people that are down and out or whatever.
You don't take advantage of people.
Oh yeah, that's big.
You don't take advantage of people. You don't, you know, when somebody is down, you don't kick them. You don't kick them, man.
Yeah, right.
You know, you help them up. And that's the only way our society is going to change, is when we help each other. You know, not through force, but through kindness. You know, that's the only way that our world is going to change.
If you're not killing for self-defense, only kill them with kindness.
That's it.
Yeah, and so showing mercy is honestly a really big thing.
Right.
I believe
even extend it to animals. You know, like
fuck yeah.
That's
dude,
the way I am. Animals. You know, I
absolutely.
Extend it to everything, dude.
You kick a dog, I might kick you.
That might be a fucking problem.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
Bullying. That's a big thing. We just mentioned it, but like, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Were you ever a bully when you were growing up?
I was
too. A little bit.
Yeah.
I was for a season. It was a short season. I believe I was in junior high.
Yeah. I just had a chip on. You know what?
Same thing.
No. It wasn't even a chip on my shoulder. It's I had a really wild creative mind. And I can't.
That's a good way of saying
it. I can't keep my hands to myself. Like I have to touch stuff. I have to joke with people.
If you have to touch something, I'm here all night.
I'm a toucher. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be a party, ladies and gentlemen.
I
Off camera.
I learn a lot by using my hands. That's why I'm a painter.
Sure.
I love to use my hands, and
Yeah.
and it's kind of when a kid doesn't like you touching them or getting close to them, and they keep telling you no, and the more they tell you no, the more you want to, you want to mess with them.
When you were a kid.
Yeah, that
could sound weird.
That's what, and that's the kind of person
Sure.
I was. Is like like
don't do it. Well, why not? I can do whatever the fuck I want. You want to put? Yeah, no, yeah.
You, like,
yeah, it's bullying.
yeah, it's and I was
Well,
like
some
that.
people bully and they don't even realize they're doing it. It's just because they can, it doesn't always have to be physical.
Right.
It actually can just be verbal. It can also be like little like jabs, like little snipes. You know,
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you're.
But we all go
stupid.
through it, man.
Sure.
We all go through it, and the
Sure.
thing is not to internalize it like you're a piece of shit or something, because you're not. The people who bully people are a piece of shit because they don't know how to grant mercy.
Yeah, and honestly, like I did and you did, obviously a little bit.
Yeah,
we're a little bit of piece of shit inside of us because we're human. We're not fucking perfect,
we're
right?
not perfect.
So, but
and that's
here's
why
the
you
thing.
ask God for forgiveness,
and we learn from our mistakes,
Yeah,
right? And then we grew.
Well,
Also, whenever you're a bully, there's always something wrong with you.
There's definitely
always
there was definitely
all
things going
fucking
on in
ways.
life,
Always.
there was. So, not to get into that. But,
Well, no, we don't have to get into that. But I'm just saying, it's always that they need to understand that we know that.
Yeah. Now it's like we try to create this safe world for everybody.
I feel like you and me are completely different people from when that happened. If it was in school, we're old as fuck. So
yeah, it was
a lifetime ago.
It was kind of tolerated. It was.
And that was a different time too, as well.
Yeah.
And it was a different kind of thing. There wasn't the cyberbullying, and there wasn't all the other things.
Yeah, I think
not that it was
social
better,
media has really changed.
It made it worse.
Changed,
but we're not downplaying it. It was still wrong.
Yeah, it's always wrong to bully somebody.
So we admit our faults on here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we are who we are, man.
Yeah, I do poop.
Nobody's perfect.
Contrary to belief, I do poop.
That is why I believe in a higher power that I believe in, because it gives me an opportunity to ask for forgiveness, but also to be humble enough to go back to those people I harmed and hopefully try to ask for some forgiveness myself.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's good. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And I've done that. I've come across people that I pushed around or bullied or whatever.
And then you've
reconciled
or whatever.
Hey, man, I'm really sorry. I know there's
you reconciled with God and them.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Forgiveness. Yeah.
Now I have a clear conscience.
Yeah.
For that thing. Now, do I have a totally clear conscience? No, because I'm a dirtbag.
Sure, we're a human, dude. We're fucking human.
I'm not a dirtbag, but
debatable.
But
no, wait. So for a guy that's not really on the whole religious kick, I grew up that way, but I'm not really on that. I would say that going to the brand thing for one, which is selfish actually, because you want to make sure your brand is good, but then also my own conscience. So he could say, well, I'm not just saying you, but like religious people, that's God and whatever. But if you're just going from a pure human perspective of it, is that you do not want to have any bad feelings inside of you. You want to move on. And
who the fuck wants?
No one wants that. No, this could be another religion for that matter, or atheist or whatever. Yeah. You just don't want to be a bad person. You do. You don't
want to feel ugly inside.
If you want to, then there is something way worse than just the bullying shit we were talking.
Yeah.
Something's really wrong. Seek help immediately.
Yeah, you should probably talk to somebody.
Call me later.
Yeah.
DM me.
You know the address of the
podcast. We can do naughty things later.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Whatever pops up, we'll talk about it.
All right, so let's go to kindness. I feel like kindness is a good thing.
It's important, man.
It's an interesting one.
I mean, you want to keep your conscience clear?
Yeah.
Kindness.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of the Jehovah's Witness way of doing it. Boom! Cheap shot.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, kindness is something that you should do without expecting something back. And I feel like a lot of people think that, okay, they could be just the karma people, right? They could just be that simple.
I do it out of fucking pure enjoyment of seeing somebody smile.
That is the way it should be. Okay, I go buy someone that's like a family in need, right? I go buy them a bunch of food. Am I expecting something back from that? No. I felt bad for them, and it wasn't out of pity. It's like it's responsibility to take care of one of my friends or one of my loved ones, right?
Right.
Maybe it could even be a stranger.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you should, but I'm just saying, like, if you don't, it is what it is. But if you did help out that person,
right.
that's awesome. Was I expecting anything back from it? No.
That's not. You know, like,
kindness is awesome, man.
Like,
you can be a kind fucking person and still be a little bit of a badass.
You kind of have to do it out of selfishness for good feelings. You know?
If that's your, but that's what I'm saying. So if that is your motive, yes. If you're not really, you're like, no, I just feel bad for that. And like I said, it's not even pity. You understand they are in a bad spot.
Right.
It is pity to a degree, but I'm not pitying them.
Right.
I'm just like, dude, this guy's in a bad spot.
Right.
He has no food. Here's $50, and I'm going to go buy some fucking groceries.
For me.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to buy him some groceries.
Right.
And it is selfish to a degree because you're trying to.
Because you want to feel good about
yourself. But at the same time, I mean.
You're helping at the same time.
Sure.
You know?
It's a weird way to think about it. You just gotta. It's weird, right? We've talked about this before, me and you.
Like Anne Rand talks about this in her interview with what's his name?
Donahue.
Is it Donahue?
Phil
No,
Donahue.
no, it's an older one.
Oh,
from
there's that
1953.
Oh, the yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
she explains it objectivism in that, and she talks about even being a selfish lover, like being
your relationship,
like
it's out of selfishness.
Yeah, I
agree with her probably 90% on most stuff.
Yeah. I
there's still some wiggle room on it, and that goes with everyone, right? Anyone that has a good philosophy that
right.
we respect and look up to, you're not going to agree on everything.
Right.
But objectivism is cool to look at, and it really starts turning wheels.
It's a
I definitely lean
different
that
way
hardcore
of looking at things. How to be selfish, but at the same time be selfless.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's a really weird.
Well, here's the thing.
It makes a lot of sense.
So where government gets in there and they betray us and they take over and bastardize it, it's because they're trying to make you feel like if they're robbing you by gunpoint, taking your money and redistributing it to people that are needy, that's okay.
Right.
But if you and me do it on our own, it's not really. It's like, okay, big deal. No big deal.
There are laws in place
to not feed homeless.
I know. You know,
people get prosecuted for that.
That is instead of
that's disgusting.
That's the government getting in the way of humanity.
Right.
You know, the government says we set the time and the schedule when we're going to feed certain people.
Fuck that shit.
You know,
that pisses me off.
If we really cared about people, we would use whatever tax money we're fucking stealing from each other to feed the least of us.
Right. Well, we were talking about that. We were, it wasn't that we were on board with that when we were talking about it.
We're
but
not
we were
on
just
board
saying,
with it
like,
because
if the government, right,
it's
exactly,
taxation.
And we kind of had this little conversation off screen on our actual podcast. And
don't
we were
use
just
our
saying,
fucking money for bombs.
Right.
Don't use our money for roads.
If the government was being true about what they're doing, even if they're taking it from the wrong means, that they would be food and shelter and things like that, right? And water and whatever.
There's so much land
but they're
in this
not.
fucking country.
And we don't even agree with that. But we're saying if they
I
were...
do not agree with that.
If they were trying to
if they really cared about you.
Right.
If they really cared about us, they would take
and
that
it would be
money.
actually harder for our message to get across if that was all
people would be like, fuck you guys.
I want my shit.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah. But even though we're saying that if they were being genuine in their wrong philosophy, their wrong school of thought, that's what they would be doing.
Right.
But
because
they're not.
We know that government is nothing but wasteful spending.
It's a fucking mafia.
It's wasteful spending, and the people that should get fed will never get fed.
Sure.
You know, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, they've taken away our ability to feed each other out of kindness and replaced it with scheduled eating times.
Right. Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's almost like a prison sentence for homeless people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're all kind of in a prison, being in a control grid. I just wanted to go back for a second. So we were talking about honesty a couple times. We brought that up a couple times. Oh, well, I feel like faithfulness in your word has a lot to do with that kind of thing. So obviously honesty. We covered that really well. We came back.
let's talk about faithfulness. What is faithfulness?
Well, I would go with the first thing that comes to mind is if you're in a relationship with someone or in a business agreement with someone, that you would be faithful to execute what you said in your agreement, your vow.
Sticking to your vows.
Yeah. A contract. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
We've talked about this in the podcast.
Well, I mean, a vow is like
it's a contract.
I could vow to you.
It's a verbal contract.
We're going to set a certain time and we're going to execute that time.
Yeah.
And
if you're not on that, it's showing that you're not being faithful to that,
you're not being faithful, you're not being honest.
Right. If you get into a relationship with someone or a marriage with someone,
right,
and then you start fucking around, you start doing whatever, or you could even just start playing the game of like, oh, I really want to get at that chick or that dude or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, like entertaining the idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right there is when your red flag should go up immediately.
Right.
And realize there's something wrong with you.
It's important to be faithful.
I feel like when I told you earlier that honesty might be the most important thing,
right.
Faithfulness and keeping your word are all right there. It's the same shit, just slightly different variations of it.
Right.
But they're all the same shit.
It's being just like
everything
wrapped
your
into
word
one.
is what you just said, right?
Yeah,
if I'm going to be here at a time, that's your word.
Yeah, that's my word.
And you're being faithful to execute that, right?
Right.
And the same thing with being honest because you're telling the truth, right? So they all go together.
You're trying to be truthful about the time. Right. And if you can't execute the time, then you need to be fucking humble enough to say,
get off my dime, bruh.
Fucking be humble enough to say, fuck, I can't meet this requirement.
Right. And then back out.
Yeah.
Bow out. Whatever. Say, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
That goes back into honesty.
Don't put your best effort. I mean, don't be skimpy on your best effort. Like, don't give everything that you are
give
to
your
that.
Full.
If you
give your all.
If you made a commitment to do something, then follow that commitment.
Yeah.
If
you want to be in a band, right? And you say this is their band practice time, and you're not coming to you're not going there. You're only going once every month instead of maybe you agree to 2 times a week or something, right?
Right.
Then you're not being honest, and you're not being faithful, and you're not good with your word.
When we talked to Ian,
right?
We were talking about his commitment to his routine and stuff like that. And I was searching for this word. It was dedicate.
Right, dedication.
It's dedication. You have to dedicate yourself to something.
He is dedicated to his craft.
Yeah, he's definitely dedicated to his craft. You could see it in his
size,
and performance, and
what we know he lifts.
And if you're not disciplined enough to do that, you have to find that motivation.
Yeah.
Where is that motivation going to come from?
Oh, and this is great because the last thing we have on our list is willpower.
Willpower.
Wow. That just all tied together.
It did.
That wasn't in order. We just,
No, we talked to Ian about, his dedication. The guy's been in the military and he's traveled a few places, and he's talked about some of the weapons and some of the benefits of his dedication to his job.
The fun he had too.
Yeah. And him going into bodybuilding, and him trying to express his love for it without trying to sound arrogant at the same time. Remember that?
Well, I mean, there's a bit of it in there, but that's your brand.
But that is that righteous pride.
Right. Exactly.
That's a righteous pride that
I still
drives.
don't like that term, but
yeah. That's okay.
No,
you
but
don't have to like it. I mean,
but it's definitely I know what you mean.
It's pride. It's like right pride, like having the right kind of pride.
Sound like you said white pride.
White pride.
You did not say that. You said right.
Right.
And not like the third right.
RIGHT. Right.
It sounded so bad.
You are such a dick.
Yeah, I'm the victim.
Fuck you.
Why is the darker guy gotta be?
Man. We have a lot of fucking cool jokes we
absolutely
we pull on each other, man.
Yeah, even when they're not. So
yeah, but that's the best kind of fucking joke. Man. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised we do.
So let's finish up on willpower, and then we'll talk about that. Actually,
okay,
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts on willpower? I feel like that's one of those things that most people will they will get confused with like their
it's
work
hard
or something.
to get out of bed to do shit, dude.
And that's where I was going to go. You got to get out of your bed and you got to go work
get out of bed.
You got to go to bed, go to work. You got to go to bed, get out of bed, I'm sorry, and do whatever.
You have to go to bed, get some restful sleep.
Yep.
Get up in the morning and have a routine. Don't get into
and if you didn't get a restful
comfort.
sleep, well, wait. If you don't get in, if you didn't get your sleep in right, suck it the fuck up and do it, because guess what? The next night you're gonna have the best sleep you ever had.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have
suck it up. Drink a lot of coffee or whatever.
Man.
Yeah.
You got to have drive. You
this
have to have
willpower we're talking about. We got to get a little animated about
willpower,
this.
Man.
Yeah,
you have to be strong.
Yeah.
You have to flex your fucking brain.
This is where the fortitude comes back in.
You have to train. You have to start training in a way that's going to get you to the next step. Like, okay, so at one point in my life, I was a pretty big guy. I was around 240 pounds, and I started to have health issues, and I was only fucking like 28. You know,
wow.
like, holy shit, what the fuck, man? I'm only 28. So I decided I'm not going to be a fat ass.
Yeah. I'm going to get in shape. Yeah,
I'm
know
not going to, and this is the way I talk to myself.
Sure, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
This is internal dialogue. I'm not going to be a fat ass. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do something about this. And I stopped eating and started researching.
Like an asshole. Stopped eating like an asshole.
I started researching why I was so fat and why I was gaining weight and like what keeps weight on, what carbs were. Like I was oblivious to what those things were.
Yeah.
You know, that were making that were keeping the weight on. And I learned that the only way that I was going to get rid of it was to do some cardio.
There you go.
You know, and it took
diet.
It took diet. I lost.
Well, you were. Was that when you became vegetarian for a while?
No,
not yet.
No. I was eating really lean, and I was walking a lot.
That's always good.
And then I started running. And once I started running,
you start walking 5 miles a fucking day.
Yeah.
And eat well.
Yeah.
You'll notice difference right away.
And then I got back on my skateboard. I was starting to ride my skateboard again. I started to burn.
And that's fun cardio. And you just add that to the mix. Yeah.
I mean, you got to do things that are
fun.
That are fun. That
or at least you don't hate.
Where you exert your energy.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people have so much energy. I mean, so much anxiety in the world because they have too much energy.
It's true. They're not burning it off.
They're not. We're not burning it off.
Well, because everyone just sits in front of the TV or sits in front of their phone or their computer, and
we're all fucking stimulated by media,
devices.
everything. Like we're being bombarded, and the TV is telling us what to think and how to act and what to do, and you know we're getting messages and inundated with all this information. You know, there's a time where you just have to disconnect, put on some music, and go for a skate.
And you gotta have the willpower to do it.
Just say
fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, like things you always wanted to do.
Yeah, man. You might even just wake up in the morning, I'm fucking tired, I feel like shit, I hurt, especially when you get older, and then you just be like, stop being a bitch, I'm gonna get the fuck up out of bed and do it.
Right.
Just fucking do it.
Yeah, and I have to do that more.
You gotta have the
I keep saying you have to. I have to. Right. I'm the one who has to.
We all do.
You know, I'm the one who has to talk to myself and say, you need to get up and do something. How much better would you feel about yourself, your mental health, your physical well-being, like how much better would you feel? And
then exactly, and that's what I was just gonna say. I was gonna say is once you start doing it, even if it's maybe 2 times into it, maybe even 1 time into it, but usually you'll just be like, yeah, I'm sore as hell, but I feel good.
Yeah.
And don't push yourself crazy in the beginning. You know, work your way into your workouts. You don't have to lift 500 fucking pounds your first fucking day. You know what I mean? Like work your way into it slow. Don't have the humility to fucking go, I'm going to go in the gym and I'm only going to lift 10-pound weights.
Right.
You don't have to
You have to have a starting point.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the strongest guy in the gym. No. You don't have to be the toughest guy in the boxing.
And you can be. That could be your goal, right? That could be your end game. And you can work your way there. But don't jump the gun. Take a week at 10 pounds. Take a week or 2 at 15 pounds. And work your way up.
Make a start.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Like we need healthy, intelligent freedom fighters.
Yeah.
We need you guys on board with us.
Yeah.
We need you guys to spread the message of freedom. We don't need rulers and
self-governance, bro.
We need self-governance. We need people who can balance our society.
Yeah. Well, it may come.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
We're one of the people trying.
Definitely so.
All right, so let's go back into the recap on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the some of the entertainment things and the jokes that we've talked about? What is kind of your favorites? And
okay, so I've always been. I'm gonna be open and I'm gonna be honest right now. I've always been against cake farts.
Episode 5, the standard. Standard.
I'm still today very uncomfortable with cake fart. I don't know what it is, dude.
It's just weird.
It's not a religious thing.
It's just a creepy thing.
It's just an uncomfortable thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's also what we do here. Make you uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Everyone, even the freedom fighters. It's not just you.
Yeah. We're here to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at our politics, it makes you uncomfortable. When you look at our jokes, it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We're here to make you uncomfortable and get you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and then laugh and have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes the creepy weirdness that we will have on the show makes you kind of drop your guard down a little bit and go, there's nothing weird about this show. But you know what I mean? Like, it'll drop your guard down a little bit, and then you can actually listen more with an open mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not to trick you. It's obviously you just turn us off. And we always tell you look it up and research and shit. And sometimes we do a little fake news, but those are only in the free talks that we're trying to be smart asses. Hashtag eater.
The fucking eater, dude. Are you serious, man? Come on, dude. Fucking eater.
It's real, bro. It's fucking real news, bro.
They're
gonna eat us, bro. The robots are gonna feast off us.
We talked about this.
We're bringing the robots back in already.
It's gonna happen, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
How do you feel about all our videos and stuff that we've done on threat number 2?
I think that the public is well informed about threat number 2.
Now,
our
public,
our subscribers are. Our subscribers are well informed about threat number 2 as well as threat number 1.
Well, yeah.
So
government infringement on our freedom.
Yep. Number 1.
And number 2, stay out of the water. Sharks, bro.
Sharks.
I mean, there's crocs and all that shit, but sharks are just the easiest.
There's dangerous shit going on in the water.
Yeah. Stay out of the water. Fresh water, salt water.
Whatever. Don't even drink water.
Yeah.
You might choke.
Don't take showers. Don't drink it. Don't even poop in it because snakes can come up through there.
Can you imagine, dude?
God.
We poop in water, dude. And people are...
Why do we poop in water? Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
It's kind of a weird concept.
It is.
Like,
weird.
The substance of life is water. So let's poop in it.
And we take it for granted. We are so plentiful, we shit in it. Can you imagine?
It's so stupid if you think about it. Like, why?
Really is.
Like, we can't advance past pooping in water. Oh, it's fucking weird.
Even the Romans used to poop in water.
Yeah, well, they're a bunch of weirdos.
They would poop in open shitters, man. The open shitters. There's no stalls or nothing.
They went right to the well. And
there was like a bench, like our table here, our command table, right?
Yeah.
But there would be like 5
floaters.
No, there would be 5
floaters inside.
There would be,
that wasn't even
there would
counting.
Be 5 spots to shit in, dude, and there would be running water underneath there.
So disgusting.
And it would travel down.
I have no idea why they'd all died of fucking diseases and shit.
Yeah, they were very advanced for their
creeps,
for their age. Yeah.
How do you feel about? Let's see, what's another good joke that we do? Well, the robot stuff's actually kind of new.
remember what episode was it? When we did the, you heard about Cuba?
Oh, it was early. It was like episode between 2 and 4.
We got to bring that back, man.
Yeah.
We got to bring that up again.
Have you heard, bro?
Have you heard, bro? Yeah.
Have you heard of Venezuela?
Yeah. We got to bring that back around, dude. That was.
You heard of Puerto Rico?
Man, we thought we were so fucking smart when we made that.
That was so awesome. Yeah.
That was funny.
Science.
Yeah, that was awesome, man.
That's a good one. That was a funny. That was more of like just a story. That was actually really.
Yeah. So
the Italian realtor. Guy.
Oh, that was
fuck
fucking.
yourself.
That was
awesome,
dude.
Yeah, that one was funny as shit. Jamie brought us that one. That was
how
good.
about the people running downhill?
That was the first. That was our first one.
That was our
the
very
cheese. The cheese run.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, cheese run.
We had a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah, dude, cheese run was awesome, man. We gotta bring.
Yeah,
we gotta bring that video back.
Well, you know what? Next year when they do one, they might have past years. They probably have past years too.
Yeah.
That was just 1 year because you could tell it was the same people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool, man.
That was a good one.
We have to look that up again next year.
We haven't done a lot of spider stuff lately, but I feel like that's a heebie-jeebie one that works for us.
Let me tell you a story.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a house painter. I had an extension ladder.
This is the big one, right?
Yeah, the big extension ladder.
The picture. No, the picture.
What picture?
A tarantula?
Oh no, not the tarantula. Okay, so I was on the ladder, right? I mean, I wasn't on the ladder. I was holding the ladder from underneath. Just kind of this ladder is 38 feet tall. It's like 3 stories tall, and there was somebody on the top of it, and I was holding the ladder, and a spider crawls out of nowhere. And it looks shitty poisonous, dude. Like bad. Like this thing is gonna fuck me up. And I think this is how people die. This is what happens.
How it all ends.
This is what happens. You hear the stupid stories of people.
Here I come, Jesus.
Yeah, like a man freaks out over a spider on his arm, knocks over a ladder carrying another man, and they both die from fucking being.
They wouldn't even have known about the spider.
Yeah.
They just found that you guys fell.
Yeah, or I would he would have died, and I would have been telling the stupid story how I killed somebody inadvertently. That I was holding the ladder, and I was thinking, and this is how it starts.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's when Chris knew he fucked up. So I'm holding the ladder. I see this little tiny fucking spider, and I'm thinking, oh my god, this is how it all ends right here. This is how it ends, man. This is how it starts, and this is how it ends.
Aww. All by a spider.
But everything worked out. Thank God.
No.
Yeah, nobody's dead.
Do we have any other stuff that you like on the jokes? And how about my jokes?
How about Kenny, dude?
Okay.
Kenny
Let's go there.
Kenny is
like
a very unique creation.
He's kind of like the hater of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Kenny
He's
because
the best. It's awesome.
He has the best fucking comebacks. Like,
don't you ever say that again. I like how you try to adopt that, and I have a couple times. It's just not the same.
It is just romantic the way he hates on us. It is.
He loves to hate.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to say. His
I like that Kenny challenges everything. Mm-hmm. Kenny doesn't believe the word anybody fucking says.
What I like is he's just like, what? You have too much time on your hand. Just like
we're moving on. He keeps the show moving.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Dude, which is totally awesome.
And then occasionally he'll have that weird, and not even occasionally, but a couple times during the show, he'll have this just random joke, and you're just like, where did that come from? Because usually he comes from a certain angle.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he'll just say something, and I'm like, wait, I should have said that.
Right. He pulls out his notes, and he's like, here are the facts.
Okay, so let's get on the serious end now about Kenny. He drops the fucking knowledge, man. He'll do some serious research.
Yeah.
And he, honestly, he doesn't even put a lot of time into it. He's just really good at it. He knows.
Right. He knows.
And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, like,
he knows how to get down to the facts.
Yes, absolutely.
The things that are important in the information. Mm-hmm. And it's important that we relay that information to
the viewers,
to people in a way that they understand, in a way that we understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's absolutely like it's my education as well. We all
of us, absolutely. We all learn.
Yeah.
Dude, we were for a while there, almost every single podcast learning something new.
Right.
I remember almost every time, even if we thought it was a good podcast or bad podcast, didn't matter. Like I had that one segment, I learned about 10 things.
It's important that we have a unified goal.
Oh, absolutely.
And everybody brings that into the mix, the podcast.
Yeah.
And Jamie,
that's where I was going to go next. He definitely is. He's I'm a happy dad. Yeah.
Right on.
Freedom dad.
Freedom dad.
Because, I mean, I've seen this guy, like, just... I can't even... Yeah, I don't have words for it. I've seen a few of my friends... Quite a few of my friends actually change. But I've seen him just do a lot of it on his own. And it's just awesome. Once you give him a couple tools to, like, think...
Right.
Outside of the box.
And that's where you have to lose the constraints of, like, that old...
old school thought. The thought process.
The thought process that keeps you from learning new information.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You have to destroy that.
Well, because if you ever you're conditioned to always hear what the right or the left, so whatever side you're on.
Right.
You're always conditioned to argue and then think it's the opposite. So if you get someone countering you, you immediately think it's the right side or the left side depending on where you're coming from, right?
Right.
But if you're a libertarian, an independent thinker, a freedom-minded person, you're not coming from those positions.
Right.
So when you argue with people on the left and right, they automatically assume you're the opposite of whatever the closest statement you made.
It's not even a position because we don't accept the position of politics. We accept the position of...
no, I've said it before. I hate politics.
Yeah,
I do.
We don't accept the position of politics. We accept the
position,
the human
freedom.
Condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Humanity
first.
Yeah. It's all about us. Without being you already heard us all talk about humility, faithfulness, all that stuff, right? So it is still ultimately, and that's what I said about that whole ego thing. It's you still have to have that a little bit. You have to. Right. I don't know what the right word is, and what did you call it? Righteous.
Righteous pride.
Yeah, and that could be it. I just don't feel like either of our terms quite. There's not a word that I can nail down right now. I think we can kind of go around about it. Sure, but we're saying the same.
But we know that it's a good pride.
Yeah, we know what each other means. You don't.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, I think they know. I think they understand.
I think we explained it well enough.
I feel like you've changed some positions and stuff. Do you have any positions that you've changed since the beginning that you can name down, or not really? I feel like there's a few things that you've changed on a little bit.
I think that because if I think about the hard issues that we've
I know that for a fact. You always been straight down forward on like taxation and theft, and the Fed. Like the big issues, you've always been the same.
Yeah, even my
what about the forgiveness thing? I feel like that might have been that's a little micro issue.
I think you're right, and I was going to talk about that. I think that
because that's why we started with that. We didn't quite.
We kind of both learned
episode 4
from each other that
we had a good little back.
It's okay to forgive, and it's okay for me. It's okay for you to forgive, and let go a little bit more, and it's okay for me to forgive and hold on to a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
no, I wouldn't even say hold on to it. I would say remember.
Remember it, yeah.
Because hold on to it, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, remember it.
There we go.
Yeah, and I think that that's been a good tool in my arsenal.
Yeah, that's a little change, right?
Right,
a little bit.
Right.
I know you and Kenny are a little bit more leaning towards the NAP, the whole non-aggression, a little bit more now.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I used to like.
There's been some fights in it, but I mean, I understand you're a man.
Yeah.
So is he.
Yeah, right.
And we all come from the tough guy kind of thing and stuff, and we've all been in a lot of situations in life, even as a job, a couple times.
Right.
So that's a little hard way to kind of grasp it, and sometimes sometimes with the non-aggression principle, it's just to wrap your head around self-defense is fine.
Right. It's
but
okay
do not do it in anger.
Yeah, do it to defend.
I think that's a big key in it.
Oh, doing it in anger? Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard.
It is very hard.
If somebody hits you, you want to...
Well...
It just like...
That's angry out of being in a self-defense situation.
Right.
That's a little different. But I mean, like, someone cuts you off and you want to beat their ass. Even verbalizing.
Yeah.
Even verbalizing.
Well, I mean, like, we
all say it. We talked about that on our podcast today.
Episode 16, we talked about that. How... the guy's driving down the road and he's he's narrating his drive, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like saying what
you brought that one up, right?
Says in it.
Yeah, that was good.
He's saying what he says in his head, but he's saying it out loud, and it's absolutely the way everybody thinks when they're on the road.
Why is this guy fucking stopping here?
Look at this guy turning left. Why is he turning left for no reason? Fuck that guy.
I'm not even going that way, and I'm mad.
Yeah. There's no reason for me to be mad. Like, what? This guy's in front of me. That's why I'm mad.
Let
like,
go
it's that kind of shit. Like,
center yourself a little bit more.
Like, don't get in your car and don't get in there. And I remember there was this Disney cartoon where it showed Goofy getting, being this businessman when he leaves his house, and he starts cranking the fucking key, and he's cranking away, and every time the engine turns, he gets more and more pissed, dude. Yeah. He's just like, and he turns into this absolute like fucking
raging maniac,
hulking dickhead, dude, on the road.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one.
And this guy is narrating his
drive,
and it's because we get off work, we're spent, we have to be on the road. Like, just before you get in your car and you take off, just center yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Center yourself and prepare your mind for what's coming.
Absolutely.
And I think if people did that more often, we would have less road rage. Like, there's going to be jerks on the road. That people are racing to get home. I'm guilty of it too, but I try to take my time now because it doesn't. We were talking about like things that make you feel bad about things, right? Or give you bad feelings inside. So that's one of the things. Like, I don't want bad feelings from driving.
I think that we've all had this one experience in life at some point where someone loses their shit, but we were in some weird Zen mode, like just chill as fuck.
Yeah.
And you see them losing their shit. And this is what I remind myself of whenever I get kind of animated about it. Like, get a little worked up and ready to lose my shit. I just go, remember, this guy's going to go home being pissed. I don't know it's the right mindset.
Right.
But I do that. Yeah. And I'll be like, well, this guy's going to go home pissed. So why am I going to let my night get ruined or day ruined?
Why should I fucking let this guy rent space in my
I'm going to forget it. Yeah. I'm going to forget about it in 5 minutes, if not sooner.
Right.
And they're going to be fucking venting the whole day and ruin their day.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No, I don't.
That's where road rage.
I don't want to be that guy. No. That's not the guy I want to be.
That's a good point. So I feel like all of us, men and women, whatever you consider yourself at home,
or whatever's in between,
right? Whatever, right?
Freedom.
You people, you people at home. I feel like you need to see whatever person you want to be. Visualize it. If I want to have fortitude, I want to have courage, I want to have honesty, I want to have all these things, and find out all these things that mean something to you,
right?
And then learn how to uphold it and keep it true to you. And then when you come across these situations, you go, wait a minute, I want to be that good dude in this situation.
Yeah.
And I can't be if I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
Or trying to fight someone out of because they cut me off.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it comes down to principle.
Yeah.
Principle's a big thing. It's like
your principles.
Are you willing? Yeah. Are you willing to break your principle for a few minutes of pleasure? I mean, it's not worth it.
Or whatever, or rage.
Yeah, I mean, but even rage and all that kind of stuff can bring you some kind of fucking
fulfillment of some sort.
Yeah, it obviously triggers some kind of endorphins in you and dopamine.
Yeah,
when
adrenaline
you rage out
and
like that.
whatever. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just it doesn't take long. You don't have to think about anything. You just center yourself before you drive away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just a few moments of time.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's true.
But
yeah, I mean, I really feel like a big thing is if you freedom fighters at home, you really try to figure out what you visualize yourself as a good person. What if you're a dude? What does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a woman? What does it mean to be a person?
I can only express for myself what it's like to be a man.
Sure. So then you diagnose it and you figure it out and you go, I want fortitude, I want integrity, I want honesty, I want faithfulness, I want humbleness, I want whatever. Then you try to make that as your code, being a good human, 101, right?
Right. And it's a balance. Everything is balance.
Always.
I mean, you have to strive for balance in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be so extreme on either end. You have to find center.
Yeah.
You have to find balance. Things that keep you closer to the moment rather than worrying about the future and the past.
Oh, always try to live in the present.
Yeah.
You should plan for the future, because don't be an idiot and get caught off guard. You got
right.
If you're like, for instance, if you're a prepper, you got to plan for the future. Don't absorb it like
don't
you're
live
being
in those fucking plans. Like those plans are live or die for.
Like,
because
that's it.
Because we all know shit changes, and you have to be able to adapt to fucking life.
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't depend on somebody else to take care of you. You got to do it for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, nobody.
That goes down to your self-governance, and that goes down to your self.
And that's why we're creating the system that we're creating, because people aren't,
dependent. They're all dependent.
People are starting to become dependent on the system, and we want
They've been for a while.
We want you guys to get away from that. We want to bring freedom fighters in. Freedom fighters, we want strong, independent. Our own way.
We want strong, independent men and women that can make their own choices and their own decisions.
Right. This is about freedom, guys. That's the bottom line. Like, remove the constraints of what you've been taught,
and have a good moral code.
Right.
And when we're saying that, it's just you don't need to lie, you don't need to steal, you don't need to harm.
Right. We really don't.
It's not rocket science. If you don't want it to be done to you, then don't do it to someone else.
Here's the thing. Everything is attainable. We live in the United States. You can literally create a job.
Right.
Something that you're good at. Go get a business name and start making
business license and just go for it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, fold up shop and find something else that's close to what you wanted, or maybe you'll find something new.
There's opportunity here for you to make money, and we're not even selling anything. Everybody has to be responsible for themselves. Yeah. That's freedom. That's what freedom is to me. If I'm reliant on Johnny for security, to secure my home, and he has something else to do, and my home needs to be secured.
Right.
Who's going to secure it? Yeah. Well, it's up to me.
So you would need to take the precautions, make sure you had a security system, security lights,
and that's what life is.
Good door locks.
You have to secure yourself. You have to secure your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was taught growing up.
So it's just like when you have the police, right? Or if you had a private security company taking care of your property. Yeah, you can have that. That's a good deterrent.
Right.
It's a good thing to have as aid, but you can't rely on them 100%.
No, you can't.
Just like with medical stuff, right? So you can rely on the medical system and whatever it is. But if something happens in an emergency, it's going to take time for the paramedics to get there. Maybe you need to learn some first aid.
Right.
And some basic medical trauma.
Self-care,
and some battlefield medicine maybe.
Right.
Learn some shit.
Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself...
and don't get stagnant. Always keep learning, man. I keep learning about medical shit.
Yeah.
I'm learning about how to put a tourniquet on. I'm learning about how to bandage up someone in an emergency. I'm learning about tons of stuff like that. I'm all over the place.
Everybody has to have survival skills.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a movement.
Right. When you go to the range, don't just go out there and put a loaded magazine or 5 of them and just fucking dump ammo downrange. But that's like the least of your concern. Practice movements, practice drawing, practice reloading, practice malfunction drills.
Yeah.
Learn how to do that shit. Add some stress to it. Be safe about it. Make sure you have someone that's really responsible and that knows their shit. How to do it. You can do dry fire exercises in your home. Just make sure that weapon's clear.
You can add stress just by adding time limits.
Yeah. Oh, there's tons of ways to do it. Yeah.
I mean,
you can get your friend to yell at you while you're doing stuff.
It doesn't have to be somebody shooting a gun in your
No, you don't have to. Shit, you can get...
that was fucking crazy.
No, bro.
Video, dude.
Yeah, we were watching a Russian Spetsnaz thing. Jeez. But you can get the little laser tag looking gun that shoots at a target that gives you different targets. Right. You can do that. There's cell phone apps and stuff that will work along with
improve your skills.
There's plenty of ways to do it. You can learn knife fighting. You can learn martial arts. You can learn jiu-jitsu. You can learn...
Right.
There's tons of ways to better yourself, to defend yourself,
and
protect your family and loved ones.
And knowing how to help yourself in an emergency situation.
Preparedness
is vital. Yeah. Vital to your survival.
How to prep water. How to prep food. How to prep anything.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, stockpiling stuff. Without being a crazy hoarder. Yeah.
Well, the command center is pretty stocked up.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's all right.
We're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing all right. Anything else that you like to share? Any other things about the podcast that we can? There's jokes and there's side stories and
God, there's so much.
So much, right?
But we've talked about so much also, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a really good time recapping everything that's going on. Just to touch on Jamie again, man. Yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah. I don't have enough good things to say about Jamie.
Yeah, same.
He keeps a good flow.
He surprises me a lot too.
He's a funny guy.
How he grows.
I love that he's a nerd because I got the nerd in me.
He's
too.
a cool nerd too.
Yeah. And he's like he's coming out of his shell and he's starting to break away from that man, that I don't want to say white guilt, but yeah, that white guilt, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah,
he's coming. It's pretty cool seeing him.
Yeah,
you know, and he hangs out with us on Thursdays and Sundays.
Sure.
Also,
yeah,
and it's pretty cool that he comes out.
Yeah, no, I mean, just seeing his growth is just getting back to what we were talking about earlier is just amazing. Like it really is.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I just hope that we keep growing and we keep spreading the word of freedom and we keep trying to help everyone better themselves.
Word.
And check us out on all the different social media platforms.
Don't ask me to.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm just
throw something up, flash it up.
Yeah, definitely check us out on the YouTube. That's our main platform.
We're on
SoundCloud.
Twitter somewhere.
Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, we're
Facebook,
on.
right?
Yep, Instagram.
The Pornhub.
Oh, and I couldn't forget that one. Patreon.
Yeah. Patreon.
Yeah, go check us out on all that shit. That's it.
I feel like there's something else.
Well, YouTube was the first one I said, but that's our main kind of platform.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, check us out, Freedom Fighters. Stay in the fucking fight, bro. Right?
Don't trust your leaders.
Yeah, don't ever trust your leaders. Dig in. Ready to go. Stay locked and loaded.
Peace, brothers.